Don't at me. That show is great.
No.
I did not put this in. No, it isn't the right thing.
We are you're streaming. Hope you guys enjoy the banner. Can't hear you guys again. Fucking.
Who added me?
There we go.
Who added me on YouTube?
There we go. I can hear you guys again.
Yay!
Alright, so. Hope you guys like the new banner.
I take it you got to see Deadpool?
Yeah.
Gum.
Best movie ever.
It's just gum.
It's just gum.
It's just gum.
The gum.
I used this specific picture. I would just on random Skype or Discord chats, I would just go, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?"
One gum.
I just post that picture.
Why do I have so many? Oh, right, because I just split the last episode into 2 episodes. That's why.
Yeah.
Why do I have so many things in my recordings? That's weird. Did you know a small percentage of people may experience seizures when exposed to certain light patterns, images, even with no history of application and software manual, also available at manuals.bethesda.com.
Cool.
Just in case you needed to know that. It's a little tidbit of information.
Do you know why you get morning wood?
I don't.
Yeah, I really don't know the answer.
Because your bladder fills up with so much urine that it presses against your prostate.
Ah. That's interesting.
That sounds like it could be true.
It would
I'd
make
believe
more
it.
sense than what? Just randomly getting a boner?
I'm just ready to go as soon as I wake up in the morning.
Maybe that is the point of it.
I'm rip roaring ready to go. Like, let's go. Ready. I'm
Yeah, wake
Alright,
up,
well,
gotta
first of all-
breed immediately.
It's
Got
the first
immediately.
shit
Ladies.
shower with your girlfriend.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
how that works, right? That's the morning routine.
Yeah, of course.
Shower and pump out a load.
I'm not alone. Do you ever see that picture of like what what girls think boys do in the shower? And it's just jerking off and it's like what we actually do in the shower. It's just like, what am I doing with my life?
It's the personal think tank.
Yup.
What's wrong with me? Why am I who I am?
Okay, so we got some
I
we got
those
some
questions are-
we got some good news today. Some
got
good
good news?
good shit to talk about.
There's some good
Yay.
shit. I've got some good shit. I know I went out and made some pre-orders today.
Oh, like what?
Both Pokemon versions because it's fucking Pokemon for the new game. Super Smash Brothers, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker because fuck me, that game is awesome. I don't care if it's just a port. And then the obligatory Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is on my pre-order list. The rest of the stuff I want doesn't have a pre-order listed date yet, so I can't put a pre-order down.
Hello, Emu CP Mother. Welcome to the podcast or the podcast chat.
Welcome to the chat.
You're in Canada? That's cool.
That's good.
Well, you're welcome.
That's good. Because, you know, we've got Canadian news.
Canadian news?
Canadian.
Do we?
Canadian. We also have a Canadian friend. He's a doctor.
He is.
Not. He has a PhD in dick sucking.
Yes.
PhD
What
in
is that?
Canada.
No, it's a PhD in dick sucking.
That's always his answer. 100% every time. Don't know if he's making a reference to something.
Or if he actually has a degree to dick sucking.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, he does like dudes, so he might have a PhD in dick sucking.
Yeah, he might.
So he might actually be very good at it.
And
I
he
don't
is
know
and he
if-
is liable to teach it.
But he is
Yeah.
also obligated to tell you that he's not a real doctor.
I'm legally obligated to tell you, I ain't a real doctor.
That was
I know
that's Borderlands, isn't it?
Yep, that's right. It's Borderlands.
Fucking Dr. Zed, right?
I love Dr. Zed. He's my
I am not legally a doctor.
And that's how I lost my medical license. Oh, he's so funny.
You know what else is Borderlands? Hello.
Hello, freaking Steve.
Who gives you the best weapon ever?
Hello.
Hey-o.
Hello.
It was funny, that article I sent you that we're going to talk about said was talking about Borderlands being one of the games, and it was like, I give it 5 catcher rides out of a get you one.
Yeah.
Catch a ride. I love Marcus Kincaid. Catch a gun. Ugh, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
All hail glorious capitalism.
They're probably gonna try and shoehorn some kind of Battleborn Easter egg into it.
That's what the freaking game is called that I keep telling people I can't remember the name of. Battleborn.
The one that thought it could go up against Overwatch.
Right.
Yeah, the one.
And then, see, Bethesda had it smart. They canceled their game.
Quake Champions still is out.
Wait. Are you implying Todd Howard can make an intelligent decision?
No, they canceled Battlecry.
Oh, okay. That was his one and only crowning achievement.
And then they repurposed the Bethesda studio in Austin, Texas to start working on Fallout 76.
I'm curious to see how it's gonna go, because apparently, from what I read, it's supposedly supposed to be more centralized around the building mechanic.
Depends where you read that. Did you read it on Kotaku or?
I read it on Kotaku. Where did you read it?
Because Kotaku's blacklisted by Bethesda.
Really?
Yes. I wouldn't trust anything they say. I don't care if they got it right that there's a Fallout game. It's an easy guess.
I mean, it wasn't gonna be anything but Skyrim otherwise.
Skyrim 2.
No,
The
Skyrim HD
re-Skyriming.
Skyrim remastered.
Well, no, Skyrim 2, but it's basically just the first Skyrim.
No, Skyrim on the McDonald's wrist games.
But now, you can only play as Sebastian Castellanos, detective with a knife.
You can only play the detective race.
Yes!
And you only get the knife.
Yeah. Alright, so
Which
we should
I
probably
solved
get
the riddle
started.
of the
Because we are going to talk about the Pokemans, and we are going to talk about the Fallouts.
Oh, shit, there's 2 of them.
That is true.
I guess first we just start with, what have you guys been playing?
For one.
Yeah, and because of that, I started Subnautica again on hardcore mode.
Oh, you crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, dude, 5 hours so far, I'm not dead. I've got a base set up. I've already got multi-purpose rooms. I've got lockers set
than
up.
I am.
Oh yeah, I blasted past where you are. I already established my base at the foot of the mushroom forest between the mushroom forest, the Aurora, and the red grass zone over by where the Aurora is. That's where I always build my base. It's just a really strategically good location.
I don't even know what the red grass zone is, and I don't think I know what the
It's
mushroom
a zone
forest
with red grass.
Yeah, you definitely haven't seen a mushroom forest, but you sure have been to a red grass zone. You were just there very briefly.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't see
very
it. I'm
briefly.
about to have probably the best Evil Within ending title block of all time. Watch it to the end because this is so worth it.
I'm gonna
Fuck
check your
you!
channels. See if you can.
I kind of want to keep the fuck you in there.
That's not good.
I nailed this dude with
But-
one of the items in the game and just yelled, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, I definitely been playing Subnautica hardcore mode. It is not easy, and drowning
Survival isn't easy.
is hard to avoid. And like, I've already been to 2 locations that I'm not gonna say because Specs doesn't know that they exist at all, and I don't want to say anything because Specs is gonna be like, "What the fuck? There's this? This is a thing?" What the fuck? There's two? It's gonna be awesome.
That's right. It turns into Super Mario Odyssey.
The Super Mario Odyssey.
Super Mario Odyssey is a lot of fun. I've been having some serious fun with that.
Oh, I need to play it. I've got it and a Switch now.
Super good. You have a Switch finally.
I guess you're a
I
bitch
do.
then.
I did buy a Switch. Yes, I haven't played it, but yes, I do have a Switch.
That's good.
What the?
Slowly drag along the fucking fuck backwards.
Jesus Christ! What was that? Ah!
I love my choice of career path. I'm just gonna say that now. I don't think I could have picked a better thing to be a part of.
Alright, I played more Steins Gate. I played more My Time at Portia, and I got to the end of the story missions of My Time at Portia. And I say that because the story missions aren't over. It's an early access game. But already I've like put a lot of time into the game.
What game were you playing?
My Time at Portia.
Oh, right. Yeah, the new Stardew Valley kind of thing, but you're a witch.
What?
How do you know he's a witch?
It's not a witch. What?
Yeah, you are. You're a witch.
Work-
It's
it's-
Witch Academy.
Moving on.
We're just gonna.
My Time at Portia, like I talked about it before, My Time at Portia, it's like Stardew Valley, but it has more of a focus on workshopping than on farming. So basically, instead of like farming things, you can there's still farming like mechanics, but not as much as like say in Stardew Valley, because in this one, it's more like people either they try and talk to you and go like, hey, can you make this for me, or you can go to the town hall and get some commissions. Like I keep on getting the commission to build a water engine, and lots of people need water engines, but it pays a lot of money, so I mean, might as well make more water engines. And yeah, it's just basically just trying to improve the situation, because the game is literally in a post-apocalypse, like 300 years after the end of civilization. Civilization is like restarting, kind of, or they got this what they called the Age of Darkness. And it's not like extremely depressing because everything is beautiful. It's not like Fallout or say Stalker or Metro.
Metro Prome.
What?
What?
But yeah, it's a good game, and I would definitely recommend it. Even when it's in early access, I would still recommend it. I also got to play Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and I think Chloe, who's the main character in that game, is a much more fun protagonist than Nathan Drake.
But Nathan Drake.
But Chloe's more excited to get into ruins.
I honestly don't know anything about that game.
Yeah. Let's see. I also played Far Cry 2. I went back and played Far Cry 2, which was a game I used to love when I was younger. And then I played a little bit of Owlboy recently.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
And then I actually played this the week before. I just forgot to talk about it. I played West of Loathing.
Oh my god, West of Loathing is so good.
Not a good game to stream.
No, I feel like it's
Probably
better
not.
recorded.
No.
Not saying it's it's a better game if you're able to just enjoy it without being rushed along by people who just want to see you do other things. I will say there was one joke that kind of fell flat for me, and that was the one where it was in the tunnel, and there's these plaques on the wall, and there's 20 of them, and the only joke in it that I guess would be considered a joke was the shaggy dog on the horse riding by.
Yeah.
So, but I will say that one of the things I love is that. Okay, so what I did was when I named my character, I was like, okay, what's the most Western name I can come up with? And I forgot what one of my viewers said, but I was like, no, I got it. I am Colorado McTexas.
Yes!
God damn.
And then I agreed to a certain dialogue option. I was like, I am now Colorado Sneaky Mick Texas.
Oh my god.
Sneaky McTexas.
And it is a girl, and I'm always keeping her walking around weirdly because she read that one book. There's this book in the very beginning where if you read it, you can choose to walk weirdly. And I don't mean just like waddling legs. I mean, there's points where you just slide along the ground. There's other points where you do somersaults. There's another point where you just roll on the ground.
I feel like that's where like Evil Within tells you like the first tip I saw was you can double tap the action button on a door to just kick it open. Guess I'm kicking every door in the game ever open.
Oh yeah, it's the Book of Silly Walking. That has one of the best jokes in it. I can't remember what the joke is though. Dang it. But yeah, that book, the description of that perk that you get, Stupid Walking, is hilarious. Like, it's one of my favorite things in the game.
Yeah.
And you can toggle it on and off in the options menu too. So
yeah, like if you ever get tired of it, which I'm not.
Right. I played the whole game like that.
There's really just like it's like, and it's not like, oh, you just walk like the same kind of walking style, but it's stupid. Every time you decide to walk or press the button to walk, it's a different walk animation.
Yeah, there are like 30 different
ones.
Like 30 different animations.
There's even points like later on in the game, they're like, that's a new one.
I feel like I'm gonna enjoy that game when I start playing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's one that's it's literally just like doing little taps along the ground.
Oh, yeah. It reads, when you were a child, you wanted to walk so badly. You finally have.
That's good shit.
You walk so bad.
Also, hi, Deathwave.
Yes, hello, Deathwave.
I forgot, like, what else did I talk about? Like, the person I decided to take along with me, I think it was Susan, her name? The one with the rifle.
Yeah,
she's
the one with the
she's
rifle,
awesome,
yeah.
and she's, like, just...
Right.
She's fucking
I really like what she adds
powerful.
to the game.
And whenever I get beefy, I always say, get beefy! There's literally just, like, an option in every fight where it says, get beefy, and it makes you stronger. And, it doesn't even take away a turn, which is weird.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess the only downside to it is that it takes some action points, and that doesn't allow you to, do certain other attacks, but...
Right.
Why did this not give me sound on my tile card? Weird.
The cows came home.
Ah, the cows came.
The game got disturbing in some parts. It even got kind of, it turned into a horror game at one point when you got to the doll.
Oh, the doll, yeah. That is creepy. I love the resolution. Did you?
I destroyed the shrine.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Oh.
I took the blood back, and what happens is freaking horrifying.
Wait, you take the blood back?
Yeah, I took the blood back.
What happens?
I took the blood back, and you give it to the doll, and she just drinks it, cackles maniacally, and then dives out the window, and the dialogue says, I'm sure that's probably fine.
I'm sure that's probably
Mine wasn't as funny. I just completely fucking wrecked the goddamn shrine, and I went back, she's like, you're gonna regret this.
Oh,
so
God.
we'll see what happens later on. Also the spittoon gag.
The spittoons are the best part of the
Do you keep
freaking
going, or do
game.
you stop at one point?
I did all 7 of them.
Oh, there's 7? I think I have 3, but for those that don't know, there's a spittoon gag, and it's basically, we all know what a spittoon is. It's a place where people spit in, and it's fucking disgusting, and the game knows this.
Gross. Like,
So
it's
even
vile.
when you're first you probably shouldn't get closer to it. I guess we're doing this. Okay,
You are now on your hands.
you are now on your hands. You are reaching in. Are you sure you want to do this? It's kind of, it's really disgusting. Keep going. Like, okay, fine, fucking whatever. Keep going, I guess. And you do this disgusting bullshit, and you got an item from it. Are you happy now? And then when you get to the second one's like, please don't do this, please. The game's actually like telling you like, please don't do this.
the narrator begs you not to. It's like, I can't handle describing it a second time.
Fine.
Oh my god, my favorite one is the spittoon in the Jelly Bean store.
I have not gotten there yet.
It's on the third part of the game. There are 3 areas that you visit, and this is on the third one. But he is part of the story. Like, you have to go to his place or you can't beat the game. So
I'll make sure to
spittoon.
I'd say one of the more subtle jokes, but one I enjoyed a lot was you walk up to a couple of people who are just like, they're playing poker, and they're both looking at a book that says how to play poker.
Lol.
And I don't know what most people would think, but I was like, oh, so I can beat them.
Right? Yeah.
I can basically say like, no, yeah, what I got was definitely the best thing you could ever get in this game, and then you get all the money. And that's exactly what you did.
Right, that's exactly what happens. Oh, it's so funny. God, I love that game so much.
I'm loving it. It's very funny. It's definitely, it does have some jokes that maybe fall flat from time to time, but I guess it's because it's maybe a joke that might get to someone else other than me. But yeah, anyone who is thinking of getting it, you definitely should, because even the combat's like to a degree well done. Not the best, but it's good.
Yeah, it's better when you have the hard hat on.
Yeah. I think I'm wearing the what was it? The shaggy hat or whatever it's called. The hat that's like, it's basically what people who smoke weed wear.
Yeah, the Rastafarian kind of hat.
Yeah, that hat. I'm wearing that one. Has some pretty good stats on it.
It does. The hard hat is you get to choose to wear it, and if you do, it takes up your hat slot for the entire game, and all the enemies are like 5 times harder. So like the combat.
So it's a hard hat.
Yeah. But it's not a hard hat, it's like a wizard's hat. It looks like the sorting hat, but...
Well, Aaron, if you're not wearing a Rasta hat, get to it!
Wait, Aaron did get in here? Oh, yeah, he did.
Aaron Davis is in the chat. He's like,
yeah,
listen,
I was like, sorry, dude, I can't call you. I have my podcast tonight. I have to get ready for that.
Aaron, if you're smoking weed and not wearing a Rastafarian hat, get the fuck out of here.
And he was like, oh, well, okay, is there a place that I can watch? I was like, yeah. And I sent him the link.
But yeah, like the sneaky joke was like probably one of my favorites because it's like, wait, really? Because like no, the part's like the game's like, remember, you need to be sneaky. And it's like one of the options is sneaky's my middle name, and the game's like, wait, really? Like, yeah, and it's like, wait a minute. Did they actually? And I go to my character page, Colorado Sneaky McTexas.
There's a place in the game that you have to fill out a form with your name on it, and if you did choose that,
it would say
option,
Sneaky
but
Mc.
if you don't put Sneaky, they say nope, that's not your name.
If you don't put Sneaky.
Yeah, if you don't put Sneaky, they're like, nope, that's not your name. Sorry.
So if you have Sneaky, they'll say, oh, cool, go on in. Yeah, let's see.
You can choose another middle name too. There's another point where there's an option to choose another middle name, and then if you do that one thing after you do both, you have to say both words as your middle name, or it doesn't work again. It's hilarious. The programming is so well done.
Yeah, so I need to get back into it because it's a game. It's one of those like. I thought I would stream it, but that's like, it's not a good game to stream because it's kind of a thing that you should enjoy at your own leisure.
Yeah.
And the jokes need to be understood. You shouldn't just keep going.
And sometimes it's hard to get those jokes because they're very well, like...
There are some really good ones, there's some pretty obvious ones, but there are also some really, like, just well done ones.
They're like your crow in the beginning of the game. His name is Russell.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't get that until I played through the second time.
Motherfucker!
His face is like, oh, fuck!
name the crow.
How did I not get that?
Freaking me too! I thought the same
I'm sure
thing.
there's like some other jokes that just completely flew over my head.
Yeah,
Like the crow.
like the crow. Like there's a point in the game where you get to choose from you have to mix together blood, oil, milk, and lemonade or something.
That's a
And I was like, okay. So I found the right combination, and you mix it together, and you get a special potion that allows you to get an additional person that follows you around. But when I watched Mark play it, he's like, wait a minute, what if I do this?
and something completely different happen.
And well, yeah, he does milk, and lemonade, and when you mix it together, it creates fudge.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
Because you guys are a little bit too young for this. But it's milk, lemonade. Around the corner, fudge is made.
Motherfucker!
Oh, that's.
So when you mix 2 milks and 1 lemonade, you get fudge.
I'm sure there are like some strange dialogue choices that I saw. I was like, oh, okay, that's a weird thing to say, but I guess it's because it's just meant to be weird and comedic. That's probably just a complete reference to something I never understood.
And you know what? I found myself in a couple of times not understanding the joke. I was like, this is a joke, but I don't understand it. And that
well, a
sucks.
good comedy doesn't just have one form of comedy. A good comedy
Agreed.
is able to switch between certain jokes that certain people will enjoy more than others.
Right, which is a great tactic, because then you appeal to a broader audience.
Yeah, and this game is probably one of the best. This game is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's I had just an absolute ball of a time playing.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk more about it as time goes on. But
please do.
Yeah,
I would love to hear about it.
There's probably some other things I wanted to talk about. Like, let's see, I met the killer clown demons, and somehow there's this weird background lore of how the demon clowns and the demon cow skulls used to fight, and the war is over, or some fucking bullshit.
Yep, unexpected weird backstory.
Like. There's like just some great ones. But anyway, yeah. So people should give it a shot, and because it's a really good game. What game is it? Oh, the game is West of Loathing. It is a turn-based RPG. It's very crudely drawn on purpose, obviously.
Intentionally.
It's intentionally horribly drawn, but it makes up for that with just great jokes, great mechanics, and all that. So you'll definitely enjoy it. It's definitely in there for just like the, just the comedy of it. Did you learn Goblin Speak?
Oh, I didn't the first time.
And how it's literally just putting ing at the end of certain words.
At the end of but then I actually restarted the game because I didn't get it, and I really, really wanted it. So I went back and I got it, and it was absolutely worth getting.
Also, I will say it was a very good choice in the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, before you go, I got you that book you wanted. And there's like 3 choices, and I think that's like the best way to do it is like, oh, that book of blank, or oh, that book of blank. And whatever you got, you actually get the skill that book gives you. But then again, as you think about it, why would you ask for these books? These sound like boring-ass books.
They're so bad.
Because it's like, this is a foraging book. This is a lock-picking book. Anyway.
Right, like, what the fuck? Also, Deathwave, if you're old like I am, like, just over 30 or just under 30, if you remember a browser-based game back when you were in high school, again, if you're my age, called Kingdom of Loathing, the developers of that game are the ones that created West of Loathing. No, you're young? Okay. Oh, there's a game called West of Loathing, or Kingdom of Loathing, that is still running. It's still to this day running, and it's a browser-based game, and that the developers made West of Loathing, and it's very, very good.
Oh, so there's one game I need to like try out. It was a game that I saw a Mandalore Gaming review, and it just looks so weird because there's so much customization to it. And it's called Space Station 13. It's a free game, and they're like it's online, but like certain it's just I don't know like what could happen. Also, by the way, Deathwave, Drew is also a millennial.
Yes,
if you're a millennial, if you were born after 1932.
What?
1982.
Yeah,
and born before 1999. I don't know, but that's what
I
millennial is.
I am an older millennial.
But yeah, that's like I don't know. I need to watch that review again because it looked like a very interesting game and it's free. So I mean, why not try it? So I might give that a try. Anyway, the last game I played, which was a game I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna get this game and I'm gonna play it. It was Ori and the Blind Forest.
I have that. I haven't played it yet though.
People praised it. People call it like an amazing game. And I played it, and honestly, so far it's okay. It's very pretty, and the first 10 minutes were very emotional, and I enjoyed it. But it gets a bit irritating. The game does. It's a Metroidvania type game.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I guess I'll just have to play farther, but because like the game so far, it's okay so far, but I guess I'll just have to play it more. Anyway, did you guys hear about Elon Musk?
What about him? What do you do this time?
I did hear something about.
He's going up against journalists. He's making a news credibility site.
Oh.
To combat against like news, like bad news. What?
I said leave it to Elon Musk to try and solve our media issue.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the. You can't possibly fix this issue, and he's the. Hold my beer.
You can't possibly date Grimes.
You can't possibly put a car on Mars. Hold my beer. You can't possibly make recyclable, reusable space shuttles. Hold my beer. You can't possibly fix all of our shitty media setting. Hold my beer.
And no, but as soon as he said he was doing it, the news went crazy.
Well,
like they started putting hit pieces on him.
Really?
Which goes to show how shitty they are.
Right.
And there's like people going like people on Twitter going like, hey, if there are any people who have been abused or harassed by Elon Musk, please talk to me. It's like, wow, they're just looking for something to talk about him.
Fishing for anything they can get.
And it's like, I'm looking forward to this. I hope he succeeds because there's a problem with media and
Big one.
like false headlines or just wrong information, like that Sean King thing where he put a news article out that says like, oh, this officer raped this African American woman, when really the African American woman lied about it. And in his case, he did apologize and says he wants to personally apologize to the cop, but still, like things like that should be addressed.
Oh yeah, because first of all, that exact situation of the media doing stuff like that should be punishable by law.
And
I actually went through and took the time to read through our Bill of Rights. Freedom of speech does not protect falsely malicious.
Oh yeah, definitely does not. Like slander is definitely legal.
Yeah, like that's not under our Bill of Rights for freedom of speech.
And I don't want to, Deathwave. I don't want to say fake news because fake news has such connotations behind it.
Right.
Like I want to say fake news because that's correct.
Because it is.
But Trump uses it too much, and everyone thinks that whenever there's fake news, it's probably, someone who likes Trump, which I don't.
Yeah.
The only thing I like that he did was get those people freed.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool of him.
I like the stock markets.
I will say it's funny that in his presidency, North Korea and South Korea have a peace treaty.
Right.
They did end the Korean War.
Kim Jong-il was like, holy shit, I have a chance to have a world leader be more hated than I am. South Korea, let's make peace.
Yeah, so that anyway. you know, if
Well, the
good things
great
happen from his
Safari
presidency, I'll praise him. But he's still not that great. But anyway, enough politics.
Right.
So
Yeah, you want to go see Phil DeFranco. That's his show.
I want to take. I want to.
Phil DeFranco, yes.
Philip DeFranco's great though. So, Battlefield. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Battlefield 5 because I learned a little bit more than just.
Oh, yeah,
Battle Royale?
Oon.
Battle Royale?
Uh,
The Battle Royale?
yeah, one of the news thing. It's gonna get Battle Royale, boys.
The new hit craze.
Holy
When's my
surprise!
battle? When do we get the Battle Royale Overwatch map? When is that coming? Jeff Kaplan, please. Pop
You know,
it
I
up,
did
let
think
me
like,
know.
what if Overwatch did Battle Royale? I was like, that wouldn't work.
Probably
That would never
actually
work.
be enjoyable and not shitty.
No, I was like, it probably wouldn't work because there's not so many characters.
Yeah, it's not that kind of game.
Like, if there's like
You just
multiple
have-
tracers,
you just
like if
have-
it's
you would
like a Battle Royale where everyone's tracer.
A Battle Royale where everyone is Torbjorn.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. My turret. My turret. My turret.
Basically, everyone only ever plays one character during it.
Catchphrase.
Oh,
That would just be
Sally!
weird. That would just
I
be
mean,
weird.
if you've ever played the No Limits game type, when it shows up on the roulette in the arcade mode, it's always one team of 6, it's all one character,
All
another
Winston.
team of 6, it's all another character, or they're all the same 12 characters. That's how that works. So if we had Battle Royale where you could play any character, everyone would just play 100 versions of the same character.
Yeah. So, but that's not just it. That's Game Battle Royale, which is kind of unsurprising. But I will say this: it's probably going to do it better than Call of Duty.
I mean, to be fair, doesn't everything do it better than that?
Radical Heights.
What's Radical Heights?
We talked about it. It was that one Battle Royale game that Cliff Bleszinski is making because he's like, oh, I'm gonna follow another trend after making Lawbreakers. And it's the reason he closed down.
I remember that now.
And I mean, the thing about Call of Duty is Call of Duty's still going, and the studio hasn't closed down.
Because it's riding the coattails of Blizzard, who's keeping Activision alive single-handedly.
Yeah, that and Vicarious Visions, and whoever's making the Spyro the Dragon reboot.
Yeah, and Crash Bandicoot's also helping.
Not
with
reboot, remake,
the remaster.
remaster, whatever.
It's not
Yeah,
really
you ever notice a
remake.
trend like in the PS3, Xbox 360 era? It was like now we're HD trilogies, and then now it's remaster. And it's like, well,
Because they can't really be HD anymore because
it's
hard.
everything is HD. Yeah.
That just sounds stupid now.
But another thing is that we talked about the woman who has the prosthetic arm. Turns out she's a sniper.
That still
Like a
doesn't
s-
make sense.
Like, man, way to shit on Lyudmila Pavlichenko again, huh?
Yeah, let's just continue to shit on actual world history.
Um,
Fucking idiot.
There, not only that, there's a British soldier in this, who in your team,
Oh,
who has a katana.
that doesn't make any sense.
There's also a black man. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if they allowed African Americans in the British Army back
No,
then.
African Americans did serve. I don't know if they were in the British military, but they did serve in the American military.
Yeah, but those, yeah, and George Lucas tried to make a movie out of like one of their Air Force units, and it was a shitty movie. Not because of
It
the
didn't
subject
work.
matter, but because it was made by George Lucas. But yeah, so, and when thinking about Battlefield 5, thinking about how it's just creating women characters that are kind of shitty, I thought of a whole sequence in the game where you play as a woman that would be extremely cool if it was able to be, made, which I think it is, but
If it was historically accurate.
basically, the British military had this thing called the Transport Auxiliary, the Air Transport Auxiliary, and it was just like it was women. It was ran by women, and it was women just transporting air vehicles from one place to another. I don't know. The Wikipedia page doesn't say anything about them fighting in the war, but I thought, what if there's a sequence where one of the pilots in the transport auxiliary gets shot down, and she has to escape a Nazi search party or like sneak away, evade, or sneak away from a Nazi search party.
Metal Gear Solid, Nazi edition.
They should be able to sneak away from them because they cannot see.
They kind of.
Got him. Got him.
He's like, and I ended the stream there.
We're done. We're done. In fact, not only is the stream done, the podcast is done. We're no longer doing this. I can't, guys. I just can't.
We've stopped trying to figure it out.
But I thought like that would be an interesting segment. But no, let's have a sniper with a blunt weapon in World War II with a prosthetic arm. It's like just
oh, you're talking about the new Battlefield.
yeah, we're talking about Battlefield 5. Like I basically said, like there's a mission where a pilot in the Air Transport Auxiliary was shot down and had to escape from a Nazi search party. Like I thought that'd be a pretty cool section, along with anything involving Lyudmila Pavlichenko. But no, because fuck you, says Dice. But yeah, so. This is one of the things about Battlefield 5 that I want to talk about, as well as the Battle Royale, which is a trend that has died faster than any video game trend I've ever seen. Like zombies. Zombies is still going for a while.
Right. Quite a while, yeah.
And people are still finding ways to make it interesting. There's not much you can do with Battle Royale.
Right.
Anyway, did you guys hear about the Buffalo Wild Wings Twitter?
Oh, I heard it got hacked.
It got fucking hacked, and it was the worst / best thing that's ever happened. Because not only did it have racist tweets, but it also had a random tweet of going, by the way, our secret sauce is with Tommy's cum. It's like,
oh yeah, that's what it was.
Whoever Tommy is, we don't know. And yeah, it's just like everyone's feeling like, man, the PR team must be like fucking scrambling. Besides,
yeah,
Wingstop's better than Buffalo Wild Wings, so who gives a shit?
I've never had either.
Why? Is it because any spice will
on.
kill you?
No.
Okay.
Buffalo, and they'll never live up to what it actually is.
You're from Buffalo and you're from California. Okay. If I were to say, do you guys want to go eat at BW3's? Would you understand what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Okay, you do.
Would that be Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Gotta go B-dubs.
But who's running there when there's Wingstop?
But like, well, we don't have Wingstop over
Yeah,
here.
Wingstop's not this far east.
Man, why do we get the good restaurants?
Because California is not a shitty place, and it's the 4th largest economy in the world. On its own.
It's kind of a shitty place. Jerry Brown's trying to make a bullet train, and it's not working, and it's costing us way too much money.
He'll eventually run out of money and just stop, and then it'll stop.
Then we'll run out of money!
Well, no, then you'll recover money, because he'll be out of money. And probably out of office as well.
Well, yeah, I think that's soon, actually.
I don't think he'll make it through November. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so Buffalo Wild Wings, I thought that was just like it just happened randomly last night. I was like, why is Buffalo Wild Wings trending on Twitter? Oh! This is bad!
But this is hilarious. I haven't been able to use Twitter. I'm still waiting to hear back from their PR team for customer service as to why my account was locked.
Right, because they think you're a
Automizing
robot.
Tweets, apparently. I don't even know how automizing tweets works.
I
was favoriting and retweeting stuff as I was scrolling through Twitter on my phone.
Did you ever put? Did you ever? I don't know. Maybe your tweets are just so robotic.
Twitter's gonna send him a response, and it's just gonna be a capture code. A capture code. Prove you're not a robot.
You're not like. It's gonna be like a button.
I've seen video of robots programmed to beat the captcha.
Did you ever see that? Did you guys ever see that that robot arm that was just like press the button to prove I'm not a robot, then it looks at the camera and basically does its version of a smile?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can't tell the difference anymore.
I guess that'd be a good segue into you never know if one has become
Crisis.
human.
Oh my god!
Oh,
You'll
yeah,
never know if
apparently
one
the-
has become human.
So
So
apparently, Become Human I've seen has gotten good reviews.
okay, well,
Percentage.
critics don't matter. Critics don't matter. We don't talk about critics.
But
But
Boogie liked it.
yeah, true. And what I was about to say was, yeah, it's actually pretty good. Now, this does not mean it's good because of David Cage. This means it's good because Quantum Dreams hired good people.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it actually does look. First of all, yeah, it's a beautiful looking game. Looks amazing.
So the commercial part was like, that's actually really good looking.
And I will say the good scene free space was crossed out within the first scene.
Nice.
Because the first scene is the one that they show in all of the E3 footage where you're a negotiator robot, and you're basically going around the apartment and trying to figure out like what should I do to make sure that the situation goes well. And yeah, it's actually it's not without its faults, obviously. But from what I've heard, like the amount of choices you can do and what it could change actually does matter. It's like a good Telltale game.
Choices matter? Oh man, I'm surprised choices matter though.
Choices actually do matter in this game because they show you with the at the end of every chapter, they'll show you this like
it's been pretty relevant recently that choices don't matter. Looking at you, Mass Effect.
But no,
having to
there's like
rewrite
no
an
at the end
entire
of every chapter, there's just like this I don't know what to call it, but it's this diagram showing like these are all the choices you took, and it led to this specific branch, and then sometimes depending on what happened in previous chapters, it was like, oh, this choice you made in this last in the chapter a few chapters ago makes a difference in this chapter, and this is what it did. This is what it did. So like, it's actually really interesting what could change. Now it's not without its faults. It's probably his best work. Which
Not
you
that
know,
the bar was very high.
Heavy Rain was actually it had really good parts to it. But no, yeah, this is their best. It has. I think it's because they I don't know. I think it's actually honestly because the studio actually decided to work harder on this one. Because I doubt David Cage had shit to do with this. Had shit to do with the good parts of this. His idea is, we make the robots, and there's the sex bots, and they're in the game.
Were there actually sex bots?
Implied. There is one part where you pick up a magazine, and it's like free like sex bots, or like robot sex is better than real sex, says a bunch of men.
That counts as checking off the spot on the bingo card. I'm just
No, because that's pity the sex bots.
Right.
There's a difference, and so
you know
I'm
that,
this.
you know that left-wing liberals will definitely pity the sex bots.
So the system I have is that after every part of the Two Best Friends Let's Play, I will the bingo card I'm using, which is the one that they put out. I will just save a picture of it, and it's like episode 1. There are three crossed out, which is the one good scene, mundane everyday QTEs.
Oh, they're in there.
Oh, it's like immediate. Oh, it's not immediately, but it's like immediately once you're the girl. Because you're like a robot that got... The story behind her is that she's a robot that got wrecked by her owner, and she's like being repaired, and she's brought back. So you get brought back to this...
She got wrecked in quotation.
Apparently. Because she needed to get repaired. And then the other one that... was crossed out is civil rights, historic oppression imagery, but robots. And that's because at the back of every bus there is an android compartment, and in it, androids don't sit; they stand.
Oh, fun!
Wow.
Definitely check that one off.
There was a giant lavish apartment, but in this case, I'm going to count it towards a giant lavish apartment owned by someone who can afford it.
Oh, because it wasn't.
Because the very first scene has a giant lavish apartment, but it's like these people are probably have good jobs. So,
No, they're a fucking journalist.
and so the reporter is just the most bullshit one. Because in Indigo Prophecy, there's a giant lavish apartment, but the main character works at a bank, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there. Let's see. Looking through them, the part 4 of their Let's Play has come out. I have yet to see it, so something might have changed. However, as of episode 2, there was another Square crossed out, and that was shitty Blade Runner reference. And that's because one of the cops who gets shot and killed in the first chapter, and the reason why it's episode 2 is because I learned it afterwards from them in the second episode, is that one of the cops was named Deckard, and he was one of the dead cops. If you guys don't know, Deckard is the main character from Blade Runner,
Yep.
played by Harrison Ford.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Shitty Blade Runner reference.
So to get a bingo, I have to have Android VR Chat Emotion World and the Supernatural. Or if I want to get one across, like cross diagonally, I have to have Become Human, Zero Chemistry Romance, and Rebirth.
Honestly, given
Now,
ones
the
that
Become
are
Human is
crossed-
going to happen. There's no doubt in my
Right.
mind Become Human is going
given
to
the ones that
happen.
have already been crossed off freelance, I honestly see you getting one of, if not both of those points getting knocked into a
As for Rebirth, I'm not so sure anymore. Because it's actually got some good story to it. So, I don't know. It might not have that in it. So, we'll see.
But Become Human.
The Noble Homeless and Children Love the Robots Square is never going to happen. Because the homeless hate the androids.
Really?
Because they took their jobs! That's what happened. Like, there's a bunch of homeless with signs like, androids took my job! So,
That's
Yeah.
great.
sadly, it's never going to happen. I mean, I guess, because, like, I'm doing this by what is specifically happened. Since the square says Noble Homeless and Children, they both have
Right.
to qualify.
Yeah.
Children love androids.
But what if they have a pastor who's an android no one knows?
If
he's an
there's
android?
one homeless person that loves androids, I will cross out that square. One. There needs just one.
Okay,
There just needs to be one.
there can only be one.
But so far it's good. The press X to sadness is actually it's better understood in context. Because it's a part where the character is told by his owner like, hey, why don't you paint something? He's like, okay. And then you paint something that's in the area around you. He's like, no, not reality. Don't. That's you painted reality. I want you to paint something from your head. And he's like, my programming doesn't allow for that. And he's like, just try. So the character closes his eyes, and he just starts painting, and you get to choose what it's about. And one of the choices is sadness. It's still funny. Press X to sadness.
Right. Press X to sadness. It does make more sense in context.
Now,
That's good though.
It's a good meme. It's a good meme.
It's a good meme. Yeah. But no, it's better understood when it's like press X to Jason.
Press X.
Now, one of the problems I have is that the abusive dad is obviously abusive. He's obviously a sleazeball. And I was like, it would be much better if they made it much more subtle. Like, what if he was handsome? What if he was a handsome dad, but he's abusive? Like, I think that would be much more effective. But no, he's just he's got a belly. He's fucking. He's got it's like just tired face. He's got shitty hair. It's like, man, this guy obviously beats his daughter.
Like stereotypical
Right.
trash father.
Yeah, and he's an asshole too. Like right off the bat. And one of the parts that made me just like it made me think like, wow, that's dumb writing. Is You find drugs in the washing machine because you're doing chores. And he's like, and the drug is called Red Ice, by the way.
Okay.
Fake drug name. And so as the android is like, oh, these are drugs. He comes out of nowhere, grabs the drugs, and goes, "What are you doing? Why are you sleeping where you shouldn't be?" Like, dude, I'm doing chores. I'm supposed to do the laundry, and this was in the laundry. How could you not realize that?
Yeah, robo drugs.
No.
No.
Because the robots aren't taking the drugs. If a robot takes the drug, if there is a robot in the game that takes that drug or any drug, then yeah, that square gets crossed out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Red Ice, robo drug.
And there's actually some pretty familiar faces in it. Clancy Brown's in it.
Oh, holy shit! Really?
You guys don't know him. He's Mr. Krabs.
Cool.
Right. For me, he's Lex Luthor. And that one guy who cameoed in John Dies at the End.
I also remember from what was it? I think it was.
But he is Mr. Krabs. Yes.
Shawshank Redemption. He's in Shawshank Redemption.
I didn't know that either.
He was also in Legend of Korra, but I forgot who he was.
I knew that.
But yeah, he's in it. Also, Lance Henriksen is in it.
What?
Yeah.
Is Bigfoot in it too?
What?
I don't get the joke,
Lance
but
Henriksen was the main character in a Bigfoot movie.
Oh.
Lance Henriksen is basically in every horror movie ever made.
Oh, okay.
So
And
I guess
he
these
is
horror
awesome.
movies aren't good.
They're
But I guess he's the best part of it.
yes, that's exactly right. That
He's
is
pretty
yes,
good in
he's
it.
The best part.
He's pretty good in this. He plays a very old owner of an android, of the black android.
Okay.
And he's very nice. He's like, did any of the protesters like, what's that? Did the protesters hit you? Are you okay? Like, he says that to his android. He's very kind to him. He's very caring. So,
Good.
and they even
I like
they even recorded the sound his mouth makes when it opens.
Really?
Cause he's old. The old person mouth opening sound, if you guys know what I mean.
Absolutely yes.
Yes. Anyway, and I will say the fact that the characters are androids works really well towards the controls, because obviously you can't walk around like a normal person with controls like in this game. You have to look rigid. So being an android makes a lot of sense. So they worked with that. They worked really hard with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
that's unexpectedly a good choice.
I will say my favorite story so far is Connor, who is the detective negotiator. He is the most android robot-ish, but his story is the most interesting because he's the one following these androids killing their owners. And so I will say, obviously it's still in some aspects a David Cage game. It will probably have its dumb moments, but other than that, it's actually a fairly enjoyable game so far, and it looks really good. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. I'm already watching people play it, so I might as well just keep going with that. And I'd rather save up for the Spider-Man game.
Spoodermoon?
Spoodermoon.
Spooderman.
Yeah.
Spooderman.
Yeah. So Short Become Human. Good game so far. So let's talk about Fallout 69.
Fallout 69, nice.
Now it's funny because there is a Vault 69. There's also a Vault 68, and do we all know what happens in those vaults?
I suck at Fallout, so I don't even know what.
One vault
I
has
do not.
999 women and 1 man. The other vault has 999 men and 1 woman.
Pretty funny.
Oh god, that sounds awful.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which one.
Woo!
Yeah, Vault 69 is 1 man and 999 women. Vault 68 is 999 men and 1 woman.
feel like in both situations, neither situation is bad for sexual reasons. It's just all the things men do, and the one woman is like, I have nothing to do. It's all. It's just a It's just a fraternity, and they just do frat boy things that have.
Oh, yeah!
Honestly, I like to imagine Vault 68 is just all the men are just like very respectful to the women, just like
Yeah!
it's like they're all just like extremely polite, and none of them are just like. So it's just this awkward moment where they're all standing around, just like, so dude, you would, like, so who do you want? One of us, like you want him? You want? And they're like, oh no, I'm a lesbian. Like, oh okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, okay, I respect that. Most of us are gay anyway.
Yeah. All things considered, even if they were all straight, they'd probably turn gay.
I mean, yeah, probably.
And then there's Vault 69, where it's 999 women and one actually gay man.
Right, and the guy
They just all have a good time because gay people are great friends with women.
Very flamboyant gay, though. Like, not like he's just a homo, like, he's the flamboyant, like, oh my god.
Yeah, like, he's the stereotype, like, to a T.
Yeah. Like, you're
Like,
fulfilling a stereotype right now. I really don't know what you mean.
It's like, girl, I'm
anyway,
the one that made the
Fallout
stereotype.
76.
I am the queen of this vault.
Bethesda, was it leaked or was it announced?
It was announced.
It was announced during their seminar thing they did.
Yeah.
Why
They
not?
did like a whole live stream of like weirdness for like 12 hours, then actually announced it the next day.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was announced to my knowledge.
Yeah, so Fallout 76 apparently takes place in West Virginia, which is kind of tiring.
Well, for you.
Because I played Fallout 4, which was, like, if they don't, like, they should alternate.
They should. I do agree they should alternate, but 4 out of the 6 games have been set in the West. So having another Eastern-ish game for me as a Fallout player is great.
Like, Virginia is interesting because it has Washington, D.C., and that's interesting because it has all these historic landmarks. What's in West Virginia?
Like, I don't know, Bigfoot?
I swear to fucking God if there's Bigfoot.
Dude, irradiated Bigfoot. I'm looking for it. I want it to replace Super Mutant Behemoths. It's just fucking a gigantic irradiated Bigfoot.
Irradiated Bigfoot is now on my bingo card. For Fallout
76 irradiated Bigfoot.
Sexifier bingo card.
We need Fallout Outback. It would be Fallout Back.
Fallout back.
And, I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Australia's already a wasteland.
Yeah, I was talking to.
And if anyone would survive the apocalypse with literally no impact,
It's Australians.
I was talking to. Yeah, I was talking to Aaron about Fallout 76, and he was like, "I want to Fallout Australia," and he said, "But all the animals would just be the same."
There would be no zombies. There'd be no radiation because missiles would never make it to Australia.
Because Australia's.
They'd knock them out of the sky with boomerangs.
Because we already freaking Australia's already a death wasteland. Like the animals there will already kill you.
Yeah,
I would like to see...
already the most dangerous place on the planet.
I would like to see a Fallout in another place that's not America.
Wasteland Australia.
Right.
But the thing is that Fallout being in America is the whole theme of it because it's about America in the 50s. It's like America with the aesthetic of the 50s and 60s.
Right. Exactly. Because it's a different America where instead of developing culturally, they developed weapons technologies. So the idea is World War II never ended.
I will say it is cool that the rights of women still kind of grew.
Yeah.
Because in Fallout 4, if you play the woman character is a lawyer.
She's right.
And the only reason she's on leave is because she had a kid. So it's like
right.
Like they wouldn't allow that in the 50s or 60s.
No, they would. That's
true. Fallout China.
Well, no. See, I want Fallout China because China's the other side. China is the reason the bombs fell.
Yeah.
I want that other side of that story.
Yeah. I mean, there is that one mission in Fallout 4.
Would China have been desolated as well, or would that be experiencing something totally different?
There's one mission in Fallout 4 where it's like you find this Chinese submarine, and in it there's a Chinese guy who's like was part of the Chinese army, and he's a ghoul, but he's actually extremely nice.
Right.
He's like, I just want to go home. Yeah. So one of the things I wrote in the docket was Fallout in Ohio win. Because that would be fun.
Ohio. So it's just, I had an idea that the expansion pack for Fallout 76 would be Fallout Ohio, and it's just cornfields and then giant skyscrapers, and then cornfields and then giant skyscrapers.
I mean, it would be plausible, right? Patterson Air Force Base would have existed then.
Yes. Right.
And it still would have been very active for what it does, because almost every top secret thing that exists in military speculation usually involves that base.
That is correct. We are number 3 on the target list for biggest like Air Force bases. So like if bombs are gonna fall, or like missiles are gonna be shot, because who uses bombs anymore? Seriously.
Of the top 3, though, it is the most well protected.
Yeah, so we're gonna get that nuke, and so like if you hear Wright-Patterson was nuked, I am no longer around.
Yeah, the only thing with that though is that while it is number 3 on the list, it's also the least likely to ever actually sustain damage.
Right, because it's so far into the like near center of the country.
Yeah, that, and where do you think they fucking developed the shit that makes nukes just fall out of the sky when they're fired at something?
The SDI defenses, yeah.
Yeah, they just
True.
disable it. Oh, that's a cute nuke you have there. Too bad it doesn't do
Then
anything.
Putin's like, no, ours can't be destroyed by those.
Then ours destroy those that can't be destroyed because we have an invincible missile destroyer.
What is
It
this?
destroys-
What is this, fucking kindergarten? Well, I got lasers that can go through armor. Well, I have a shield that can block all lasers no matter what.
We're talking about a Todd Howard game, and you're actually asking if this is like kindergarten? Yes, it's exactly like kindergarten.
I hate that the blame's always put on Todd.
Oh, Todd.
I mean, like, conceptually, like, Fallout 4 was still a pretty good game.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a bad game at all. I still don't know what the fuck Diamond City is.
loved
but,
And I think when it comes to the choice of like what should we,
the main quest is a huge game design flaw, but otherwise, the game's really good.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah,
And
but
the lack thereof of explanation of major game controls, like how the fuck do you use the talent system screen, is kind of a major game flaw.
Shut the fuck
but aside
up.
from that, it gets the solid 6.5.
well, I'm pretty sure Todd had no like, he's like, let me go look at that talent screen, make sure the controls are correct. Like, he doesn't give a shit. He's working on Skyrim 6 or something.
Skyrim.
I mean, honestly,
Not
I
the
give
Elder Scrolls 6.
Skyrim 6.
I give Fallout 4 a solid 6.5 out of 10. Too much irradiation.
I give it like 7.5, maybe 8. But Witcher 3 is 10 times better.
I give it an 8. It had shit story. Everything else was incredible.
It had shit story, but the Automaton expansion was good.
Nuka World was actually pretty good.
I never finished Nuka World because you have to be a bandit, and my character was a good character. So I was like,
You didn't have to be bandit. I'm pretty sure I was able to get through it.
I want to like kill all of them now. Like I forgot that that's even an option. Like
There
I
was a
don't
point at
actually
there
have
was a
to-
point at the end of the DLC. It was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, so I feel like, oh, this is a Fallout game. That's probably an option later, so I should probably go back and finish it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went back and finished it. I got sick and tired after level 33 and about 40 hours of play that I still couldn't find Diamond City, and then just stopped playing.
I'm surprised that you couldn't find Diamond City.
Never found it. I couldn't figure out how the map worked.
It works like a map.
To me, it didn't. I couldn't figure it out, and then I couldn't figure out the talent system until Drew explained it after I stopped playing the game, and I felt really dumb.
Maybe we should get back to playing the game. I mean, the mods are pretty good. Big boobies.
The mods are great. Big boobies. I mean, I can just get those in Skyrim though.
Yeah, true.
I can make them obscenely oversized for no discernible reason.
Cause big boobies.
Breaking any sort of skeleton mesh idea that they had at Bethesda.
Yeah. Big
I could
boobies.
just also play the detective race, which I don't think I can play the detective race.
Oh, the detective race is the best.
It was added in Dragonborn.
For the Dragonborn expansion.
Yeah, it's part of the. I would say all the DLCs for Skyrim are actually pretty good. including the one where you just build a house.
Yeah, honestly, like that sounded weird, but then it actually was pretty cool. Like it wasn't. It was not what I expected it to be, but it was really good.
I need to get back into Skyrim.
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, there's
Don't do it.
suits.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. Every time I keep trying to start it, I'm just like, all right, I'm done. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I have 2,500 hours.
I will say one of my main problems
the last,
with
like, 4 years of my life playing.
one of my main problems with Skyrim is the fact that the combat system isn't all that great. Like especially with
It's
weapons.
literally
Like
the point of the
I like good animations. I like things like what would be good? Like Dead Island had a really good melee system, and Dying Light had a really good melee system. And in Skyrim, it's just like swing, 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 and it's the same. It's the same two swings.
And it's not even like you can mod it to make it better. It's an engine limitation,
Yeah. So
which I think is just bad engine design.
just stop using that engine.
Yes, make a new one. If you're gonna make
Use Unreal for fuck's sake.
Yeah, right. Like if you're gonna remake the game again, Todd, just make a new engine.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't even. He's a game director. He doesn't work on the engine. And I'm pretty sure he has no choice when it comes to like what Skyrim gets ported to next, because he doesn't give a shit. He's working on the next Elder Scrolls.
The next Skyrim.
Next Skyrim, yeah.
Skyrim 2.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one-
Skyrim 2 or Oblivion 3 or
Alright, or Oblivion 3.
Morrowind 4. Arena
I
6.
would take Morrowind
It'll
4.
probably just be Skyrim again.
I'm hoping it's elsewhere actually.
I love the prospect of it
Considering
being
how well the Elsewhere mod was done, I would like to see it.
I would like to see elsewhere.
Although
Gotta
I'm
love them
worried that
kitchens.
I'm worried that the fan-made mod could potentially be better done than a Bethesda full game would.
The Elder Scrolls 6 Elsewhere Furry Porn Edition.
Furry porn, you know that's immediately what the Woolers guys will do with
In the
it.
next Elder Scrolls, there better be an option. There better be an option to be Khajiit and open up a stall so you can go like you can sell wares. Khajiit sell wares.
Khajiit have wares if you have coin.
If you
Mike does not want talking.
Malik
Maik-
does not lie.
I like that
the
Maik the Liar has been in every Elder Scrolls game I've played since Morrowind.
Yeah, he's a good. Like it's always just like a joyous occasion to see him because he can be anywhere in the game.
Yep.
And it's
And
like,
you-
oh,
Yeah.
Mike, my bud.
Yep, he mentions in Oblivion apparently one of his dialogue settings that he alludes to him being a deity, and then he shows him again 200 years later in Skyrim, like, oh, maybe you are a deity.
Yeah. Anyway, Fallout 76. Sorry, we got sidetracked. Apparently, so I think what Kotaku tries to say, which shouldn't be trusted because Kotaku's blacklisted by Bethesda.
Right.
What got them blacklisted by the
They
Like, girl-
leaked information.
I mean, like most news sources for gaming?
I forgot what they leaked, but like the way that I think it's just the way they went about it.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's because they leaked information, and news sites don't usually leak information. They usually get it off of like Reddit or something.
Because Reddit loves to do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Because that's how Reddit.
and they can't blacklist Reddit because who gives a
Right.
shit?
It's fucking Reddit. Who cares?
But yeah, from what I've been hearing, it's like some say it's online, which I'm not so sure I like.
Yeah, there is one way, and only one way that I will accept Fallout 76 being online.
What?
And that is if it is like The Forest, or if it is like Rust.
Yeah,
where
that'd
you-
be good.
Where you can play the game solo, the whole thing if you want to. But you do have the option of sharing the experience with your friends, and it changes literally nothing. That
Which reminds me,
would
we
be
still need to play the Forest.
would be awesome. I would love that in a Fallout game. Anything else, if it's like an ESO clone,
Battle Royale time!
If it's a battle royale, I'm going to scream and rip out my hair.
Gonna fucking shoulder tackle Todd Howard.
I will find
my
him.
next thing on the Fallout 76 bingo card, Battle Royale mode.
Even if it has an option to select battle royale, I'll be extremely mad.
Because that means
Even if it
resources
was
wouldn't put.
otherwise a
Because that means
regular
resources
Fallout
would put to something that shouldn't be in the game.
It becomes that super like old meme song of the guy like getting mad at his computer and hunting down Bill Gates, but you're hunting down Todd Howard
Right? Yes. Yeah, that one song. I love that song.
from like 2004.
Yeah.
It showed up on Newgrounds back when Newgrounds was still pre-YouTube.
Yeah, but so what else did you guys hear about Fallout 76?
That's literally all I heard about it.
Yes, a multiplayer survival horror. Just what I heard. I also heard that it is taking place in West Virginia.
Sasquatch.
A radiated Sasquatch. What
That one's still speculation, but it's going on the bingo card.
Oh, Fallout 70, the Vault 76. Interesting fact about Vault 76 is that
It's one of the vaults that wasn't used as an experiment.
Yes, it is a control group vault, and it was the earliest. It is the in the Fallout universe. It is opening in 2102, which is 175 years before Fallout 3.
So, like, what would that mean? Does that mean more radiation?
That means, oh my god, a shit ton more radiation. This, it was supposed to do 20 years, but they went 25 years, so something went wrong. And that's sort of like a hidden little hint, I suppose, is, oh yeah, it opens after 20 years, and they show the date it opened, which is 5 years after the date it should have opened, because it should have opened in 2097, but it didn't. So your character's going out to rebuild, but they show that party. Like, the trailer is awesome, but I hate that Country Roads is the song that they chose, and they only did that because it's West Virginia. But I don't want the 1970s in my Fallout game. Get the fuck out of there. I want 40s and 50s music. I know John Denver's Country Roads is a sacred song. I understand that. And the remix that they are doing, super great. I'm cool with it. It just does not belong in a Fallout game. I'm not insulting Country Roads, because I know Aaron's still listening.
I can't believe
I know Aaron's still listening.
I can't believe that he's insulting Country Roads.
Because when I said that, I was like, get the 70s shit out of my Fallout trailer, and he was, fuck you, Country Roads is the best song ever. I was like, no, fuck you, Country Roads already made its appearance in Prometheus sequel, whatever, The Covenant.
Oh god.
It can it was already in The Covenant. No, Aaron, I see you typing. You minimized Subnautica just to type.
You tabbed out
Leave
of
Country Roads alone.
Leave Country Roads alone. Leave Brittany alone.
It's a great song. It just doesn't.
You
belong
basically
in
just kicked him in the
Fallout.
shin. How could you do this?
But you can see that they use the same computers.
It was literally written for this.
God damn it! No, it wasn't. Just a long time ago, Fergus Urquhart was like, "Hey, John Denver, I'm gonna make a post-apocalyptic
Fucking Aaron.
West."
I see it all now. Leave Country Roads alone. Things haven't exploded yet.
He's talking about Subnautica. He's at the computer told him about the quantum detonation, but he has not yet experienced.
Yeah, I was promised explosion. Explosion, 2 hours. Okay, time passed really fast in this game. 9.5 hours later in game. Oh, there's the countdown.
There it
Good
is.
thing I'm nearby to actually see this.
We're talking about the Aurora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just watch that from your little ship thing.
From the little pod, yeah.
Yeah, if you're near it.
I mean, I could see it from afar.
Then
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be seen from anywhere on the map, right?
Since the map is 5 kilometers in across, then yeah, you probably could see it anywhere on the map. The Aurora's pretty big.
Yeah, but if I was underwater just before that timer started.
That is true.
So if
It
I was
did
down there,
start
I
when
would have heard an
Specks was in the
explosion,
water.
but what was that? What was that noise?
What was that just now?
What is that? Just some sort of like dumb horror movie things? Like, what was that?
No.
Oh, it
Metal
was,
Gear- Metal Gear
Metal
Solid.
Gear Solid. Yeah.
Huh?
Blows
Metal Gear
something up,
Solid.
runs and hides
Huh?
behind a box.
What was that?
What was that? Oh, it must have been nothing.
Oh, it just happened. For Aaron, it just happened.
It did.
Oh, there it
It
is.
just happened. The Aurora has detonated.
Must
It
be
was
my
like almost
imagination.
5 minutes later on my game. Like if you watch the video, it was like 5 minutes later on that it happens.
Yeah.
I need to get back into
It was
Subnautica,
stupid.
but I'm too afraid of the ocean.
Oh
I
my god.
wasn't until I started playing the game.
the thing that mostly scares me is just the jump scare of the Reaper, I think it's called.
Yeah, the Reaper Leviathan.
I don't like that, and I don't want it to
My
happen.
Favorite thing is gonna be when Specs gets Reapered the first time.
Oh.
Oh my god, you're gonna. Oh,
So kamikaze fish already made me shit my pants a couple times. They still make me shit my pants. I fucking hate them.
I think I think
yeah.
they make everyone shit their pants because there's something coming at you that's gonna explode.
right.
Yeah, but you don't see where it's coming from half the time, and they just make that squelching noise. It's
That-
really
yeah,
fucking loud
that
for no reason.
elephant trunking noise, the trumpet,
Yeah.
and then explode.
Yep, I go boom boom.
I should probably get back into it and just push for something. I don't know. Anyway, so, all right. So there was also, fuck it. Let's just talk about Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool's so good.
Really, that's just lazy writing.
Oh, that's just lazy writing. Well, I like.
Why are you referencing RoboCop? You're literally just referencing.
You literally just that was RoboCop. Should we just like all holds barred spoilers from here on out?
I have no problem with that. The movie's fucking phenomenal. If you haven't seen it yet, kill yourself. Don't actually kill yourself.
Because you need to see it, then kill yourself.
You're right.
Then
You
kill
need to see it
yourself.
first.
And I like how Infinity War like came out fairly recently, didn't it?
Yeah.
And even then, they had Thanos jokes in there
Yep.
Right,
There's already
they
Thanos
already
jokes in
had
the
'em.
movie.
because Josh Brolin played Thanos. He's
Right, so like he could tell them what was going on set, and he was like, "Well, why don't we just make a Thanos?"
well,
joke?"
hold up there,
Well,
Jared Kushner.
Right. Where would I make a Thanos joke? And he'd be like, "All right, right here."
Here. X-Force.
I will say that like
X-Force.
the
My favorite part
The
about the movie,
Vanisher.
honestly, my favorite part about the movie, not counting the Juggernaut song, and the shot he takes at fucking Professor Xavier. How come you wear that helmet? Because my brother keeps reading minds. Oh, that must suck. He must look really stupid. Yeah, but he's in a wheelchair, so fair trade.
Well, I did
But
like
the-
the
my-
like
my
like this is
favorite
the
thing,
like
though,
this movie
hands
is the
down-
best reason that Fox got bought by Disney. Because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
because that one joke was really good where it's like, where is everyone? No one comes out to see me. And then the camera turns and it just shows people from the actual X-Men movie cast going like, close the door.
Yep. they just
Even like
closed the
I
door.
saw Evan Peters in there.
Yep. They just closed the door. My favorite hands down part about this movie though is the after credits scene because it's the one movie that nothing matters and it's funny because nothing matters.
As I know, we're just gonna ruin the end scene right now. Basically, it's a
timeline, so none of the movie had to actually happen.
it's basically a part where Deadpool just takes the time shit that like Cable has and goes and saves his girlfriend. Then he
Right.
goes off and he kills the Deadpool from X-Men
kills himself.
Origins,
Yeah, he kills-
X-Men Origins Wolverine. And then he goes back and he kills Ryan Reynolds, who's about to join the cast of Green Lantern.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's right.
No, I thought he actually wrote part of that film.
Did he? Let me see.
But Ryan Reynolds wrote all of Deadpool.
No,
No,
I think you mean Green Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern. No,
I thought he wrote Green Lantern. That's why he kills himself.
No, it doesn't look like it. See, story by, screenplay by. No.
Oh. So it's just the fact that he was even in that movie.
It's like
Because
things.
him dying prevents
Yeah.
the movie from happening.
It
Oh,
was just,
so
it was just
dark. What are you from the DC universe?
oh, you're from the DC universe. And then I thought also one of my favorite jokes was the intro, like little intro that they had after the death of the girlfriend. Was just like, "What the fuck? What? You just really do like the credits? Like instead of saying like
Brought
this
to
for
you by, oh my god, did you really just kill
fucking
her?
dude." Written by the real fucking villains.
The
The
real.
real fucking villains. It was a really good opening. And did you guys catch all of the references in that opening? There were a lot of them.
Well, obviously, what it was referencing Skyfall.
Yes. But there were a lot of references. It was actually pretty much every James Bond.
I might need to just like we might need to watch it. Me and my dad might need to just watch it again.
that opening sequence doesn't
Watch it
reference
on
just
stream.
Skyfall. It references several James Bond movies.
Yeah, and do you guys know Matt Damon was in it?
He
Yes, I knew Matt Damon and Alan Tudyk is in it.
Yeah, they're the rednecks.
I only
Really?
knew that because Phil pointed it out.
I never
didn't-
would have noticed.
Yeah, I
Me
didn't
neither.
catch it.
Me neither.
Brad Pitt
Never
was a
would've.
welcome surprise.
Yes, Brad Pitt was hilarious. Like, legit.
This is the Vanisher.
The
Where is he? Oh, I
Oh,
get
he's
it.
running late.
He's not here, is he?
actually here, is he?
He's in.
I was the gun that I forgot his name. What's the friend's name
The friend?
of Deadpool?
Oh, TJ Miller?
Teach me. The gun he pulls out when Cable comes in, it's a double-barreled 1911. Like, it's an actual gun. It's basically the gun that, like, if they put two 1911s together and made one gun. That's an actual gun, and he just pulls it out. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that?
Where did you even fucking get that?
Still think one of my favorite lines in the whole movie is "Don't fuck Elvis, don't fuck Colossus." What?
I remember, do you guys ever, I don't know, you guys probably don't watch Ralph the Movie Maker, but he reviewed the film and he's like, he found the colossal scenes to be very poorly CG'd, and like, I think that's the point of Colossal's
I
at.
think it was.
He's
I-
meant to look
yeah.
badly CG'd. Also, how could you make that look good?
CGI fight incoming.
CGI fighting covering.
I liked his fourth wall breaks in
Mhm.
this one more than in the first one, because in the first one they were really involved, but
Yeah.
in the second one they were more numerous, but they were quicker.
Yeah, they're
So he was like, cue the music, and then the music turned on. You know, that's a subtle, quick reference. Like, I like those fourth wall breaks.
yes.
The Juggernaut song was still the best one. That and the other line that I really liked is, "Oh, dude, we're best friends now. Only best friends kill pedophiles and doctor shoes."
And yeah. I want to be a contract killer. Okay.
I think at the same time, I think you should go back to the. I'm going to go back to the text. You know,
What is his name? Sanjeet?
Sanjeet.
Sanjeet, yeah. So he comes out of the bushes. He's like, "Oh man, I heard you coming from so far away." I was like, is he gonna make it?
I still love the fucking Juggernaut song. Juggernaut song is, it's the fucking Juggernaut. He's so fucking big. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, holy sh! Oh yeah, because you think it's O Fortuna, but then it's
No,
not.
they
Oh yeah, so
rewrote it.
do you guys know who voices and who does like the face of Juggernaut?
No.
Ryan Reynolds.
Wait, really?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Deadpool.
He did all the facial shit, and he also did the voice, and they made the voice much deeper.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I didn't know that. I never would have caught that, honestly.
Luck isn't a superpower. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Having Domino
No,
in this
it's not.
movie is pretty great.
Oh, Domino's great.
Domino was my favorite part of the movie. I am obsessed with her superpower.
Honestly, I think I like Yukiko the most.
Oh, you can
Uh,
go.
Hi, Yukiko.
Hey, Wade.
Wade.
Hey, Wade.
I love
And
you guys.
apparently they do that in the comics. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's actually a thing in Deadpool.
It's actually a thing in the Deadpool comics is that they say, he says, "Hey, Yukiko." It's Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukiko aren't dating in the comics, but Deadpool still does the "Hi, Yukiko" thing, which
Yep.
is really funny. I didn't know you were dating Pinkie Pie from the My Little Pony. And then he winks. He winks at the camera. Like,
Yep.
I knew that somehow you guys would really like that show.
Yeah, well, no, because like I thought it was super great because if he didn't wink, it would have still been funny. But he winked, which means he specifically called out the brony community.
It was an intentional joke, but it was a joke that was really funny. Because not only does it make fun of the character, it
Right.
also makes fun of the character for being gay, and then makes fun of grown men for watching a cartoon show about horses.
It has so many levels. I love it.
I also think one of my favorite jokes was that, like, you just killed Black Tom! You racist!
You killed Black Tom! We were like brothers.
I didn't know his name in the comics is Black Tom.
Mm-hmm.
What's your superpower? Cultural appropriation?
and a giant wheelbarrow full of stage 4 cancer.
God, everything about that movie was great, and it was better than the first.
Yeah. There really isn't anything bad I can say about it. Like, start to finish, I enjoyed myself.
It was
I
definitely
don't
better
see
than the
anything wrong
first,
with it.
especially in terms of just cinematography.
Yeah, cinematography-wise, but that's to be expected. It's been several years.
It has been. It has been.
People
There's
have loved
one thing I didn't like about the movie,
It wasn't long enough.
and well, for sure,
I wanted more.
but I didn't like that they just killed his girlfriend. Now, some people are saying, "Oh, it's the driving force. It's how he relates with Cable." It's like, okay,
Why? Because it's fridging, is what they call it.
it didn't have to happen. Like, it wasn't necessary. Deadpool
I
was
think, wait,
still
no,
gonna-
okay, no. I think the reason that it was for the intro to go going like, what the fuck?
Right.
I think it was just mostly for that joke.
It probably was. I do think you're right.
I hope we sharpened the cheese cutter.
Because right, because it didn't have to really happen. He was gonna do all of the shit that happens anyway. So I think that maybe it didn't have to happen, but you are right. I do believe it was exclusively for that joke.
But Drew, remember, it didn't happen.
Right,
never-
and then it didn't happen. They actually go and undo that. So it's like it truly didn't need to happen. And I think it's
So it just didn't.
right. So it
just-
just didn't.
Fuck.
Now
A lot.
it's okay that it did happen. I'm not saying sexism or I'm not doing anything like that. Like I do think because it has really, really, really good like female representation. Like Domino's so fucking kick ass, and like Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukiko are great
And
characters.
Cable.
It's perfect. And Cable's awesome. I love Josh Brolin
Always
now.
a good character.
I just-
I always like Josh Brolin, man.
The fucking Juggernaut's in this movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, but I didn't like that they just expunged her. Oh, he had to make that mistake.
Well, the thing is, like, I saw it coming.
I mean, to be fair,
It's like,
to be
oh,
fair,
they're trying to have a
if they
kid.
kill
She's
her-
dead.
If they didn't kill her,
She's dead.
the movie would have literally been an hour and a half of him banging his girlfriend.
I mean,
Which, I'm
would be
okay with
expected.
that. Yeah. Both of them are hotter than anybody really should ever be.
Is that really a bad thing? He's Deadpool. The guy's got maximum stage 4 cancer forever. But it doesn't actually kill him or make him weak.
Right.
He's earned it.
Because he regenerates as faster than me.
It's faster than the cancer can kill him, but it made the cancer literally all over his body.
I think
It's only skin cancer, though, so it's not that big a deal.
I think that's the reason why it takes his limbs a while to regenerate. Because, like, if he didn't have stage 4 cancer, he would probably be like Piccolo and just be able to go, "Ah, boom! I have a new arm."
Right.
So yeah, that penis.
With the Winnie the Pooh legs.
And then Winnie the Pooh fucking full Winnie the Pooh.
That penis reveal, huh?
man, that
Oh yeah, it was
penis.
pretty good. Now he fucking crossed the legs specifically to show off his dick.
One joke I was hoping to happen was him like criticizing any parent who brought a kid to the movie,
Oh yeah.
and he kind of did, but it wasn't what I was like
It's
hoping
a
for.
family video.
This is a family film, and see, I told you, it's a family film.
Film.
I mean, we got I forget what all y'all listed. I just know it ends with a wheelbarrow full of stage 4 cancer. But he lists off like everything that family's comprised of. It's still a family film.
Oh yeah, from left to right.
Yeah.
Your babysitter's doing coke right now.
Right.
You're welcome,
So fun.
Canada.
You're welcome, Canada. I still love that. I can only go back one time. That's just lazy writing. So he goes back and fixes the thing so it can go multiple times. Should we really have given him that? What have we done? And he goes through and changes everything.
I will say it's funny because there was a one joke. I think someone insulted Canada, and then he was just like, "Whoa, hey!"
Oh yeah, no, that did happen. It happened. The movie's just so good.
It was a really good movie.
It's just so good.
There are some points where it's like he probably said a different joke at that point, but they decided to put a new different joke over it. Because there's some points where like you could say like you could see that the mouth doesn't fit with what he's saying. But I
Probably
mean,
an uncut
does
version.
that really matter?
Deadpool 3,
I don't
Deadpool
think
Unchained. I want to see it.
An extended cut of the film is in the works, by the way.
I really want to see that.
And yeah, Deadpool 3 is in development.
Is it? 'Cause
Yes.
I thought Ryan Reynolds said that this is the last one he wanted.
He wanted to take a
do.
break, I think he said.
That's okay. I'm willing to wait. Take all the time you need, Ryan. Take all the time you need. I will be
Because
here
like I don't think
Throw
Ryan would
my money
ever
at it.
want to give up this role, man.
He definitely loves it. Like that's 100%. Like
Deadpool's
for
the
sure.
only-
Yeah, Reynolds is just taking a break.
Or-
Yeah, yeah, because I thought that like my friend Zach said that he was reading, and maybe you're right, maybe it is just a break. But he said he would be okay with this one being the last.
I mean, I would too, but
Deadpool movie,
I still want more.
but
Deadpool's my favorite
um,
superhero, though.
he
so I'm
said
kinda
he
fine.
wants to be Deadpool in other movies, but he said this is the last Deadpool, like that he's going to be the main character of. Which I could see him saying that as a publicity stunt for Deadpool 3. So like
Yeah.
it hits development and it comes out real quick and people are like, "What the fuck? I thought you said you weren't going to be doing this." It's like, "Did you believe me?"
You believe me? You fucking idiots. You stupid fucks. How dare you?
Right, you stupid idiots. Oh,
No, Wade Wilson is literally my favorite superhero of all time, and he's the only superhero character I actually own comic books of.
Nice.
And I catch shit from Chris all the time. Like, he's like, you can't have Deadpool be your favorite character. Like, why not? He's the best.
oh, apparently Ryan was treated something. He's like, I wanted to shut this disgusting rumor down before I start it. Yes, there's a scene in Deadpool 2 in which I have adorable little baby legs. In order to achieve this illusion, I did not sit on an actual baby for more than a minute. An hour
For
tops.
more than a minute.
Fucking love Deadpool so much. It's
Yeah,
so
it's great.
Hey, you go.
Let's see.
good.
What,
You go. I win.
so there's a new Assassin's Creed that was announced.
What?
There's a new Assassin's Creed that was announced. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You want to take a guess where this one takes place?
Oh! We fly on a hat and we sail across to stop a wedding between a giant turtle lizard and a princess.
Close. It's Greece.
Oh. Wait,
'Cause-
you mean... Wait. You mean God of War 1?
Close. No. Because Odyssey, you know, Homer's Odyssey.
So wait, it's the Simpsons remake
Motherfucker.
from the Super Nintendo.
No. You should probably read Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey. They're actually pretty interesting stories.
I've been told, I just never got around to it.
And what I say to this is, where's China? Can we go to China yet? No. That arcade game they put out, Assassin's Creed Origins China, does not count. Because that was 2.5D, and that doesn't count.
So if you're gonna go to the origins of Assassins, how come we haven't made it to Oriental?
It wasn't Origins. It was just like Yeah, I mean, yeah, they did go to Origins, but like they had this like side series of 3 2.5D games where I think you went. One was in Russia during communism.
Fuck that bitch. This is Russia.
And there's another one in China. I think another one was in India, and the one in China has the Chinese assassin character that was like in one of the Assassin's Creed animated films.
Forgot those existed.
Yeah. I forgot her name, but she was like a really cool character, and I wanted to play as her. Not in 2.5D. I want to free roam around China as this amazing assassin character, instead of 2.5D, which is a fucking disappointment to me. I can't believe they did that. I'm still angry about it. And apparently, in this new one, they censored the statues.
What?
Why?
Fuck if I know,
You're
man.
fucking stabbing people in the throat, and they censored the genitalia on Greek statues.
I mean, to be honest, Ubisoft is also the one where in their history tour mode that they put into Assassin's Creed Origins, had a point where it's like, women weren't exactly respected to this level, but we decided to change it because that's disrespectful to women. I'm like, fucking what? Dude, just be historically accurate. Women were discriminated against way back when, dude.
Unless you're
Right.
smart,
So it's just like,
badass.
and now they're censoring the statue in this for like what fucking reason? What they like Greek statues? I don't even count Greek statues as nudity because that's just they had penises.
Right.
They had penises back then.
We still have
Right.
them now.
What?
Wait, what?
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 You do?
They're only in movies.
Penises are only in movies. It's a myth. Penises are a myth, as are vaginas.
Oh, no.
That's all.
Everything I know is a lie.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, so like Greece, I guess that was expected, but like can they just like I doubt they're gonna try and make China because we already made a China game. It's like I just get so angry because they went just so cheap with it. Like there was so much you could do with feudal China. It would have been awesome. But no. So, Pokemon RPG. Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee.
I'm still rock fucking hard.
I want to ask, why Eevee?
Honestly, from what I've seen so far, it's apparently a remake of Pokemon Yellow, and there was never a version of that game where you could get the Eevee starter, because in that game, Gary starts with an Eevee. So, and that's why he had Eevee in the TV show. His starter Pokemon was actually an Eevee.
So that's why
they
it's Eevee?
changed that later on, and originally in the game he starts with Eevee, and then you get Pikachu from Oak.
So I just want to ask, why didn't they wait until E3 to announce this?
I have no idea.
That's a very good question.
Like,
I don't know, but at the same time, after they announced both of those games, they went on Twitter and told us that 2019 we're getting a core series Pokemon game with a new adventure, which leads me to believe Generation 8 is on its way in.
that's right. Pokemon Battle Royale.
Pokemon Battle Revolution was what
I would play a Pokemon Battle Royale game.
Then you
As
should
long
put
as you
Pokemon
could be
Quest
any of the 700 some odd Pokemon.
that we know of so far.
I know, and they can't use they don't use their Pokemon abilities. They just have military gear and guns.
But no,
It's basically just PUBG with a Pokemon texture
what
pack.
I've heard, as far as what's going on with the new Pokemon game, which I'm super excited for, is it does something I personally haven't gotten to experience, but I know has been done thanks to you, Freelance, is that it the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee games connect with the Pokemon Go game. So like you can take your Pokemon from there, put it on your phone, and then go out for a walk with it and do shit with Pokemon
Yeah,
Go with
well, that kind of application is new. That hasn't really been done before, but a connection of mobile games to core games has been done. It's even done with like Metal Gear Solid, like not exactly, because Metal Gear Solid 5 is more like just a companion app. But there's this game on for Assassin's Creed Black Flag where you get these ships and you build them up and you just try and fight other ships. And if you go onto Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you get all the loot that you win from the phone game into your game.
All right. I don't know. We don't know what the extent of what Pokemon Go's connectivity to it'll do. But
Yeah.
we know
So
we can at least
yeah.
go
So what they're doing with this one is completely. I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen that one done before, but like it's definitely a unique
Yeah.
kind of way to
And
do it.
aside from the clear fan service of we're getting Pokemon to follow us around on this adventure again, which everyone's been clamoring
Right.
for since Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yep.
And it going back to Kanto, which is a huge nod to veteran players. The two biggest things is not only the motion control Pokeball controller for this, which, oh my god, I want one so bad. The other big thing that I've noticed is you play with one Joy-Con, just one, and it allows
the
you
one.
to have
So
a
you can
friend
jerk your
literally
hard
just
on with the other.
Well, yes, but it also allows a friend to take the other Joy-Con and play two-player co-op right on the game.
Hmm.
And you just jump in and can play together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's
So
pretty cool.
Detective Pikachu, is that still happening?
I think we're past that.
Is it already out?
It's already been out. played
How is it
through.
done?
I don't know. I didn't play it.
Is Danny DeVito in it?
No.
Damn it.
Wasn't it Ryan Reynolds that was Detective Pikachu, actually? To segue back to Deadpool.
Oh
again?
no, wait, no. The announcement was just I guess that was just the English port because as it turns out, Detective Pikachu came out in 2016.
Yeah, there was someone going through and they did a side-by-side comparison of the new game with Pokemon Yellow, which is pretty cool. It's apparently looking like a lighter experience, but one of the big things I did see mentioned about it is apparently this is going to have there's going to be a few new Pokemon show up, like things we haven't seen before. And there's apparently it's not going to be just Kanto Pokemon. You're going to be able to see even Alolan Pokemon in this game, which is pretty neat. So I'm curious if it's actually going to be a lighter in quotations version of the game, but it's definitely not going to be your traditional like Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Ruby and
Right.
Sapphire.
So there's gonna be a gun.
Probably not.
Fucking what's the point?
I don't know if I'm going to get this game or not. I've played Pokemon Red Blue and like I love it and it looks the new Pokemon looks really great. I just don't know if I care to play it again.
You can watch me play it.
Right, exactly. And then I can decide whether or not I want to actually buy it.
Right. Another cool thing that I found out about is there was a 1997 Pokemon Gold demo, fully data mined, that revealed a whole bunch of not only unused Pokemon sprites, but also completely unused Pokemon. I thought it was pretty neat. Like, there was a baby Vulpix idea. There were a couple things that eventually looked like they turned into what became the Pokemon Tangrowth. There were early renditions of Pokemon like Pichu, Clefairy, Igglybuff. It almost looks like it was an early rendition eventually. And it's actually pretty neat to see this super early setup, because the demo versions of Pokemon games actually have the full content of the game at the time in the demo.
Right.
But apparently the original map was super ambitious in that it not only condensed Kanto down to a ridiculous degree, it basically just right over the top was a full-on straight-up map of Japan.
Oh.
Like it was going to cover Japan completely in visual aspect of it for how Johto was going to be, which Johto is based directly off of the country of Japan. That was the idea with that one.
Huh.
So there's a lot in that. And there's a whole bunch of like unused sprites that we ended up seeing, either returning characters from the previous generation, or new sprites that ended up showing up actually far later on in the game, or like later on in this generation. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a neat little find that I saw pop up on the newsfeed that I saw. That's cool.
All right. So the last little thing of news that we have is was sent to me by Drew.
Ooh.
Apparently,
Drew
like
news
some
always
games
cool.
have been leaked. Some E3 2018 lineup games have been leaked. Of
Yeah.
course, we shouldn't exactly trust it.
Does it beat my docket that I shared the other day?
Sadly, there is not going to be a crossover between Metroid Prime 4 and Halo 6.
And Halo's.
And there's not going to be a Mother Get Over It edition.
Earthbound Never Ever edition, just to let it die.
Yeah, just let it die edition.
Never ever edition.
But yeah, so Walmart, I guess, accidentally put out some games for pre-order, and a lot of them were games that haven't even been announced yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's going to be a new Splinter Cell game, Which
oh,
is-
cool.
which is
Which
interesting because I like
that's-
Splinter Cell.
That's one of the like believable ones.
Oh yeah,
is
definitely,
The new Splinter Cell.
because of Recon Wildlands already coming out. So,
Yeah.
Just Cause 4,
Wow.
which might I mean it's possible because I still think Just Cause 3 actually just sold a pretty good amount. But you know, Just Cause 3 wasn't exactly received well, so we don't really know if that's true or not. Another one's Dragon Quest 2.
Right, which the article says how they already released like Dragon Quest 11, so there's got to be some sort of like misnomer there.
Like it could be Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Right.
Dragon Quest Builders 2 is supposed to get an American release, and it's supposed to release in Japan either if it's not out already. Shortly. So I would believe it's supposed to be that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, give me more of that. Like I'm not even through anywhere near deep into the game already, and I want more.
Yeah.
So I already know that one's coming out, but I'm expecting that to get an announcement for an American release at E3. Like that's not even like, oh, surprise! Like no, I already know that's coming.
Next up
What
is
else you got?
Destiny Comet, which is a expansion pack that I heard they were going to be putting out for Destiny 2.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably going to happen. Borderlands 3.
Right, Borderlands 3,
Finally.
which would be incredible.
I mean, it's probably going to happen because Randy Pitchford apparently told fans that they're working on the thing I think most of you guys want us to be working on.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be either Borderlands 3 or Duke Nukem Forever 2, obviously.
I mean,
Or
both
or
those
Alien
versions are
or
actually
Aliens Colonial Lies 2.
fun. I don't even know what that one is.
Alien Colonial Marines.
Oh, okay, that one.
The one that they lied about. Like the video that they showed before the game came out was like a complete lie because the graphics were like much better, the gameplay looked much better, and the game just turned out to be this boring ass, shitty looking and just shitty first person shooter.
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, so Borderlands 3 is probably happening.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
Lego DC Villains.
I feel like that could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
but I
that's
feel like they
also probably real because there's tons of those games.
I mean, they're making a Lego Incredibles game. I mean, anything is possible with Lego.
I
Ha!
remember one time I heard a rumor like they're making a Lego Halo game.
No, they're not. No, they probably actually no. I
No,
wouldn't
this
believe
is
that.
this was a rumor I saw a
Well, yeah,
long,
but
long time
the
ago.
The Halo Legos were through Mega Bloks. So
Yeah.
if Mega Bloks is making a Halo game, I'll believe it.
They probably aren't making enough money to do that.
Probably not.
Rage 2.
I've heard of Rage. I never played it.
Rage 1 was actually pretty good. I don't know why so many people like hate it. I thought it was pretty
I've
fun.
never heard of it.
It was an like a first person apocalyptic like RPG kind of game.
Oh.
I thought it was good. Forza Horizons 5.
Like the racing game Forza?
Yeah.
That
And-
Mountain Dew has game fuel for
That's what they were preparing.
PUBG.
And
Yeah,
it's,
but not PUBG for some reason.
now it's probably a typo because Forza Horizon 4 hasn't happened yet.
Hmm.
So they probably screwed up in that department. So it's probably just gonna be Forza Horizon for, and they're probably gonna show another car that we'll never be able to buy at E3.
Yeah.
Man, don't you just love it when they show you like, hey, look at this car that you're never gonna be ever getting.
You'll never get.
There's only one of in existence, and literally nobody can afford to drive this thing.
So yeah, so just so you know, E3 is next weekend, right?
I believe
Yes.
so, yeah.
I
Should-
think on the 10th.
So, would we all be able to watch it together, or?
We should be able to.
All right,
let me
so
look
make
at
sure to
this.
get those like
On
make sure to get those
Sunday? No,
on Sunday. No.
no. I have D&D on Sundays.
Okay.
What days is it?
Apparently, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be June 8th, 9th, and 10th.
I gotta work 1 to 10 on Friday. I mean,
Mm.
5 Saturday.
We'll
Well,
see.
on
We'll
Sunday.
talk more about it later on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Hey, the last game that's on this article is Gears of War 5, which is not a surprise, and it's also not gonna be a surprise if it's gonna be shitty.
Hey, you're absolutely not wrong on that one.
Alright. They're I don't know what they're gonna try with this one to somehow
More
make it better.
chainsaw guns. More chainsaw guns.
More it shoots chainsaws that shoot chainsaws.
That
The
shoot
chainsaw is a gun.
guns.
Instead of a gun with a chainsaw on it, it's a chainsaw with a gun on
With a gun on
it. Yeah.
And then there's gonna be another gun that makes an even bigger beam of light strike from a satellite.
And it's like a
So-
laser beam, but with chainsaws.
with chainsaws coming out of a laser beam.
Uh,
God, yeah,
anyway, that
sorry.
should be. I think that's pretty much it. Do you guys have anything else to talk about?
That is all
Well,
for
you
me.
didn't change my hyperlink in the description of the live stream.
You never told me to.
I never noticed it until I checked it earlier and saw that it hadn't been changed. My URL got updated. I'm legitimate.
Like I knew that.
I'm
100
legitimate
I mean, I
now.
haven't stopped talking about getting 100 subscribers for like a week. So
I don't know what that means.
Really?
I don't
It
know
means
when you get custom links because
it's at 100 subscribers.
I know it is. You never shut up about that, but you never said you got a new link from it.
Yeah, it's youtube.com.
He does now.
I'm gonna keep it like that. So
Dick.
people will find you. Don't worry.
Exposure. I pay you an exposure. Didn't say it was good exposure.
Well, I mean that link, the link,
The link
still goes
works.
to your channel.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what's the
come watch
problem?
video.
Because it just doesn't have your name on it?
Doesn't have my name on it. It's just arbitrary numbers. No one's gonna think I'm a legitimate YouTuber with arbitrary numbers. Some scrub
Yeah.
subscribers yet.
Well, okay,
Don't
give
you
me
know
the
he has
give me the
100
goddamn link. Because every time I try
subscribers?
and go to your channel, it's still a bunch of letters and numbers.
Oh, I don't. It shouldn't be a bunch of arbitrary numbers. Fucking YouTube, get your shit together.
It goes to your channel, so it doesn't really matter. Like, it's like people's gonna go like, "Oh, I want to check out the Spectre guy." Wait, that link doesn't have his name on it. Never mind.
Hey,
No one's going to do that. If anyone does, that's dumb. Hey man, I'm pretty sure that's all we have for today.
yeah.
If we can't do a live stream of E3, then I don't know. I might have some I might join with some friends who's doing it. If we are unable to do that, then we'll just talk about everything at E3 in the next one.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Figure it out.
All right. So